James here from goodguitarist.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you some of the leads from New Light by John Mayer. In a previous lesson, we already went over all the rhythm stuff, so now we're going to take a look at all those cool lead parts. They're not necessarily all guitar parts, a lot of them are on synths and stuff like that, but I figured we could check them out because this way, if you combine this with the rhythm stuff, if there's two of you, one of you can play rhythm, one of you can play lead, it makes a really cool combination of sounds. And before we get started, if you find that you need help with the basics of lead guitar, I have a lead guitar ebook. It's free for all my subscribers. There's a link down below, and that goes over, hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, reading tab, power chords, like a whole bunch of stuff. It's a really good resource that'll get you through all the basics of lead guitar, so please check that out if you find that you're having any trouble with this lesson. Otherwise, we're going to get started with the solo. It goes like this. So we're going to start out on the B string, that's the second string, all the way up at the 10th fret. We pluck that, then we go to the 12th fret, and then we bend to get the same pitch as the 13th fret. And if that's too much, you can just play the 13th fret. You could just go 10, 12, 13, but it's worth a try. 10, 12, and then we go to the next string, to the third string, and we go 9, 11. So let's just recap. Now the next part goes like this. So there's a lot of bending there. First, we're going to bend from the 12th fret up a half step so that it sounds like the 13th fret. Then we just play the 12th fret normally. And then we go here to the first string, we play the 8th fret. And then on the B string, we bend the 10th fret. Then we bend it again. But on this second bend, we do a release as well. So there's a difference. There's just a bend, and then you stop the string with your right hand. And then there's bending and releasing, bend, bend, and release. So we do a bend, then a bend release, then the 8th fret. I'll do all that slowly. The next part is the same as the very beginning. And now here we're going to go. So we're on the G string, we go a quick hammer from the 7th to the 9th fret, and then the 7th fret again. And we end it with bending up the 10th fret with a release, plucking the 8th, and bending the 10th again. So let's play through the whole thing ultra slowly. And then if you want to do the same thing that the voices are doing, they're going like, you can just go. So that's on the G string, 9, 11, then on the B string, 10, slide to the 12th, then play the 10th fret. So take some time with that, approach it bit by bit, just like how we broke it down while learning it. Learn it in those bits, and then glue it together, slowly get it all together and play it all in order. And then we can try it together nice and slow with some rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, so there's a few more lead parts. Like this song is just a bunch of layers, and there's probably like 10 guitar parts on it, but I've just picked out some of the more prominent ones, and this one is the main one that you're gonna be playing during pretty much all the rhythm. It goes like this. And it's really easy. We're palm muting, so we have our hand lightly overlapping the string to get a nice palm muting sound. If you do it too much, it kills the note entirely. Too little, the note just rings out like it normally does. So just a little bit of palm muting. G string, then on the D string, 4, 2, 0. And we just do that 3 times. I want chicken, I want liver, meow mix, meow mix. So we do that 3 times. And then we go. So the 4th time, we're just playing the open G string, and then the 4th fret of the D string. Really simple. Let's just try that a whole bunch of times. You're gonna pick it up, no problem. It's just straight notes, just dun 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 dun. No big deal here. Same notes over and over again. Let's try it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pretty simple, and you would do that along with the main progression. If you watch the other video for this where I do the rhythm part, there's a main progression that's like 95% of the song, and this is the rhythm, this is the lead guitar equivalent of that. Now we're gonna take a look at that main lick that he plays after the intro and after each chorus. It goes like this. So what I'm doing there, I'm plucking the 10th fret of the highest string, and then the 12th fret, and then I'm doing a hammer on to the 14th. And then I pull off, pull off. So I'm only plucking twice. Pluck, pluck, then it's hammer, pull, pull. I recommend doing it really slowly. And then I'm on the B string and I pluck the 10th fret, hammering to the 12th, really quick hammer. So I just do it twice, just. And then I go down 2 frets, do the same thing from 8 to 10. So the whole thing really slowly. So just try that a few times. You're only gonna have to play it a couple times throughout the song. It's super obvious when, like everything else is quiet and then that lick just happens. It's on a synth initially, but it's worth playing on guitar. The last thing that we have to take a look at is what he plays during the bridge. It goes like this. And that's a really funky guitar part, and he just keeps doing that over each chord in the bridge. We're on the 10th fret, 10th fret, and then the 9th fret, and I'm using my first finger to mute the strings so that I can get all the strings. That's really important when you're learning funky music like Red Hot Chili Peppers or actual funk songs from like the 70s and 80s. I'm just doing this with my arm the whole time, and I have no pressure on the chords, and when I want it to make a sound, I'm just squeezing with these 3 fingers. Just try that a whole bunch. Speed it up as you get better at it. And as for strumming it, we're gonna go down and then 2 mutes. So I actually release the pressure and then up with 2 mutes. So down, up. So we do that, and then we go do this shape. It's kind of like a D shape, except I'm doing it with a bar. So it's the 7th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. And I just do 2 downstrokes. All together. I recommend that whole muting thing, really working that out, where your first finger is just resting on the strings so that they're muted. And you only put pressure when you want to make a sound. So let's try that together now, playing the bridge with that rhythm part. You can watch it a few times. You know, this is one of the more difficult things in this whole thing, actually. It's harder than the solo, in my opinion, to really get a good feel with it and get those muted strokes sounding nice. Anyways, let's try it out nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's how you play some of the lead parts from New Light by John Mayer. If you watch the very beginning of this video, you'll see how to put it all together. You'll see that I've put together all the stuff from the rhythm guitar video, plus this one. And yeah, it's really fun to play, especially if you have a friend to play with. Otherwise, you could just play along with me over these play-alongs. Either way, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.